So what we have here is just a quick comparison between my old processor, the Intel 6850K, and a new AMD 7950X3D. I wanted to put this together just because I couldn't find anything when I was shopping around for a processor to see what kind of sculpting performance I could expect moving up processors. The rest of the systems are pretty similar. I mean, they're the same amount of RAM, though the Intel is a DDR4 and the AMD system's DDR5. Um, but other than that, I try to keep them as similar as possible. Um, what I noticed was that the clay strips tool was by far the slowest when working with it. I'd never realized that before. Um, After I used Remesh to get the basic cube up to about 49 million polygons, just so I could really give it a push to see where one processor would struggle and where the other one may not as much. What I found was like a lot of the sculpting tools work quite well even at this high resolution, except for that clay strips, and also something like the move tool really isn't optimized to be working with this many polygons. But something like, say, that snake hook tool was a surprisingly easy to work with, which I was really taken aback. I didn't realize some tools were so well suited to working with the high poly, where the other ones weren't as much. I also found that the smooth tool would lag a bit more than the other tools, which I guess makes sense considering how it works. I'd really like to see someone put together a benchmark suite for working in the viewport. So often you see Blender used as a benchmark, but it's always using the processor as a renderer, which just doesn't really matter anymore. I could imagine some sort of macro scripts that basically ran through a series of movements with different tools and such. I also couldn't figure out a way to actually show the frames per second on the screen. I tried both my EVGA tool and the Windows game bar, but neither of them registered anything other than 60 frames a second, even though like things were chugging. So it's not a frames per second issue per se that will show up when you're modeling. You'll have to just watch how long it takes for the brush to actually react. You can see it just lag behind as you pull it across the surface. It's more of a feel thing. Unfortunately, it makes it very hard to benchmark, I think. Aside from what you're seeing on the screen, I have found that the newer processor performs tasks in general much faster, like the aspect of remeshing up to the 49 million polygons. The new AMD processor was much faster at that, so there's something to be gained in some of those features. I mean, everybody kind of assumes it's going to be faster, but unfortunately I didn't like stopwatch it to test how long, but probably twice as fast. So that's about all I have to say. If you have any questions, ask them down below, and thanks for watching.